We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How did not get fishy after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben and Allison, and you are watching Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. Today, it's Mailbag Monday, and we are answering your mail and your hot takes. It's going to be a really exciting show, and for an exciting show, I need an exciting panel. Let's kick things off over on the west coast of the US. We have Clark Taylor. How are you today, Clark?
I'm here. It's not quite the dead of summer like it is over on the East Coast, so I apologize. I'm still wearing a hoodie. It's nice and delightful here in SoCal, but I'm excited. It's Mailbag Monday, and we've got mail. We just got a letter. Shout out Blues Clues. Shout out everybody that sent in their submissions. Can't wait to get into it, Ben.
Where's number one Superfly? We've not got any of the Blues Clues stuff in the chat. We need to get those in here. But also joining us, we have Des. How are you today, Des?
I'm doing good, Ben. Thank you guys so much for having me on here. When I heard we were doing mailbag, I instantly thought of Blues Clues. So I'm glad you guys got that reference. I was like, we just got a letter. We just got a letter. We got takes instead, and I wonder who it's from. But let's get right to it.
Oh, you hit I wonder who it's from. I was like, I missed it in mine. Yes.
Yeah, that was just the next one.
The fact that I still don't know what this Blues Clues is, right, but it's been referenced every week on this show, just makes me feel like I'm the show's biggest fan at this point.
You and Magenta.
Numero one is in the chat. He is here. He is doing well. And Lotus Flowerbomb 87 says, we just got a letter. Wonder who it's from as well.
See?
Over on Instagram. Fernando says, happy Mailbag Monday, WR crew. And I Make Beats says, good evening, gents. Good evening to you as well, I Make Beats. Without further ado, let me pull out the mailbag and open it up, because the first hot take is from @TheRealSom2, who says, Seth Rollins doesn't need Paul Heyman. He feels kind of useless when Seth can cut an amazing promo. It actually does say photo there, but I think he means promo.
Well played.
Clark, what is your thoughts on this out of the gates?
I find this one kind of interesting because I get where you're coming from. I hear ya. But at the end of the day, did Tom Brady need Randy Moss? No, but they set the single season touchdowns record. Right? So does he need him? Yeah, if we're going to get real specific here, probably not. Seth can talk on his own and whatnot. I even think Roman proved he could talk on his own too. Brock has been over sans Heyman since Heyman turned on him with Big Show till he ended up back in his corner. I think CM Punk can talk as well as anybody. He's been a Heyman guy over the years. Did he need him? Maybe no. Did it help? Maybe a little. So that's where my head's at. Did Jordan need Scottie Pippen? I don't know. They won 6 titles, right? Like, it's okay to have a teammate there. I get where you're coming from, but it's too roundabout of a thing for me to be like, well, then so what do you mean? So should we not use Heyman, or just specifically only use him on Breaker, or how do we do this? I'm cool with it. I'm cool with the way it's been organized. I like the group a lot. And again, sometimes dream teams win titles. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest, Clark. I do agree with you, because I agree with this comment that Seth Rollins does not need Paul Heyman. But this faction needs Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins teaming up with Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker without the involvement of Paul Heyman wouldn't really make much sense. And numero one Superfly is saying the alignment between Seth and Paul is working well. Paul is helping to elevate Seth's faction, particularly more for Bron Breakker. And long term, I do think that's who he's going to really benefit. And I Make Beats compliments me. Thank you very much, I Make Beats, as well. But Des, what about you? What's your thoughts on this situation?
I'm in agreement with you guys. I 100% agree. honestly, you could really tie this along to Seth Rollins winning Money in the Bank. He doesn't need Money in the Bank, but it just helps him become more of a bigger threat. Paul Heyman doesn't need Seth Rollins. He didn't need CM Punk, but having him there, it makes it more of a bigger deal. And Paul Heyman does his best work when he's with the top heel in the company, which is why I get from a microphone standpoint and a promo standpoint, Seth doesn't need him. You're right. He's great on the mic. But in terms of character work, I definitely feel like it would help.
Yeah, I am in agreement with you on that one as well. The Atomic Merp is in the comments saying, we back. Hey, y'all. Hope you are well. Karen A says, I agree with Ben. Heyman is there to elevate Breakker and bring legitimacy to the group as a whole. And Fernando Zaya says, MJ would have won 6 championships with any sidekick.
I do love that. I'm an MJ guy anyway, so I like to give him all the credit over Pippen. I'm cool with that, Fernando. Much respect. You know that as a fellow Chicago guy. I got my Dino shirt on too. Shout out Chicago.
Just Apart says, yo, my peeps, shout out to you as well. But I do just want to quickly touch upon this for a second, because Clark, you said so far you have been a fan of this faction.
Yes.
But like some people are saying, it's kind of getting a little bit stale, these attacks every week, and we still don't fully know why Bronson Reed joined them, why Bron Breakker joined them. Do we need all the answers a bit quicker than we are currently getting them?
You know, there's certain types of people and certain types of groups that walk into a room and people start, twiddling their thumbs and shuffling their feet. Palms get a little bit of sweaty. Like that's what this group is. They bother people. It's a heel faction. I'm cool with it. I don't think it's getting stale. I think it's getting annoying. Isn't that heel work too? At the end of the day,
That's true.
I wouldn't say it's stale. It's still moving people emotionally. Whether that's positive or negative, that's a different conversation, I feel like, Ben. But it is still moving people in the moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm totally cool with it. I really, 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 really like the idea of Seth sort of still being the cowardly heel.
Yeah.
He still won't do it. He's the Beast Slayer. This guy's beat all the big ones. And we know that. But he's got us convinced that he's having his handyman do all the work for him, right? And he's the carpenter.
I mean, to your point, Clark, about, it being good heel work, a few weeks ago, they were being cheered in every venue they were in every single building.
I criticized that then.
What did they do? Yeah, what did they do? They had them beat down successfully, the faces, every single week. People were like, well, no way is Seth now going to win Money in the Bank, or they'll just be shoving them down our throats. Guess what they did? They had Seth win Money in the Bank. I complimented that decision at the time because guess what? Suddenly, we are booing them. Suddenly, we are getting just a little bit sick of them. It works. Just Apart says Heyman with Rollins is being booked weirdly. They need to put more into this. I will say we do need more of an explanation, but hopefully we will get it down the line. The Atomic Merp says agreed as well. And Nathan Branco saying Breakker low-key is the next Batista.
Oh, I see
He's
it.
a lot younger than Batista was too.
I see it though. I see it.
I see it too.
I don't hate that comment in the least. Now, it doesn't have to be the perfect comparison, right? Like, as you mentioned, the age gap. But as far as his role within this, in relation to like an evolution type thing, sure. Because you could almost call Paul Heyman the non-wrestling Flair in this. If you're really trying to do it, I wouldn't call Bronson Reed. I wouldn't call Bronson Reed Randy Orton. So that's where the comparison ends.
I think Randy Orton's Bron Breakker.
We're not getting straight out of the
comparison.
We're not getting straight out. See, I think it's Batista because I think stardom-wise, it's going to be faster.
No, I just meant age-wise more than anything.
Well, the age thing, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know about your age. It's just, I think he's more like Batista.
Like 2 years older than Batista was. I honestly think, flip it. Randy Orton, the young talent, is Bron Breakker.
I don't think
the older guy who's underrated is Bronson Reed.
See, I don't think there is an Orton in this group, is the difference. That's where, right? That's where the argument is. We're not even really arguing because we have very similar opinions here. Right? But I don't think there is an Orton in this group. And I don't think it's a direct comparison. That's the only thing I'd say, Ben. You know what I mean?
Because there is also another factor in this too, in terms of I still think there is a fourth man, and I don't know who that will be. I hope it's Austin Theory.
It's as I like to say, Ben, though, it's similar but not the same. And I agree with you. I do think there's a fourth. If it's Theory, then now we have a conversation.
And hopefully they can stop doing push-ups too. Because I have now done over 100 push-ups.
I was going to say, though, you're looking yoked, Ben.
You're looking
Maybe
good,
you should be doing more.
Do you know, well, somebody suggested I do another one each day, but here's the issue with that. I do fear this could go into like another 200, 300
That's
days.
what you ought to start doing.
I cannot do that many push-ups a day.
Jeez.
That's what you ought to start doing is you do 10 to get them out of the way early, and then you only post every few days if it starts to get ugly down the road. You just do an actual set one day, and you're like, all right, I'm covered through SmackDown next week. Like,
oh my! What I actually might do is, and if I do this, I'll have to start tomorrow. I might do every 10, I add one more on. So that way, after 20, I'm on 12. After 30, I'm on 30. I think maybe I'll do that instead.
You're gonna get jacked.
Just like Theory.
Basically, on TikTok, the fitness community went off at me. My form was not good enough.
Oh, dude. You know what?
Geez.
That's just not cool.
Some guy sent me a video like telling me what to do, and to be fair, it was helpful. Thank you.
We're not out here telling them how to do push-ups, and they're not out here telling us how to talk about wrestling. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
What do you say, Des?
I was going to say one thing I want to add too about Rollins, because you're saying that we're not there yet. I feel like there's one factor, which is why we don't have a lot more story with Seth. It's John Cena. Once John Cena retires, that is when the main focus is going to be on Seth's faction.
That's true.
Especially during WrestleMania 42. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that.
Raving Ninja says, if you keep doing one more per day, your body will adjust. Yeah, but I can't, not even just time-wise, I don't have the time in my day to do 300 push-ups, and that could be where we get to if this continues.
Like you could do,
No, but I'm saying if I do an extra one each day.
Oh, don't do
then
that.
Then it's going to, it could get to like 500.
No, don't do that.
Right.
That's not what I'm suggesting.
Every 7 days.
You only promised one a day. People are just asking for too much. That's not even about you.
10 a day, 10 a day.
They're asking for too much.
But I mean, we do also, I will very quickly acknowledge the elephant in the chat, which quite a few people are talking about. Night of Champions, of course, with everything going on right now. There's a comment here from Christopher Leclerc, which is simply untrue. It has not been moved. WWE are still yet to comment on it or make any changes. All that I can say is, as of now, we know it is still going ahead. Anything can change. We aren't experts and we're not in the WWE, so we can't tell you anything on that. But up next, we need to go to the next hot take, because this one is from regular viewer of the show, Coach23, who says, and this is a big claim, mind you, he's saying AEW is hot for only the niche audience. In-ring action is not the answer to their issues. Clark, you're a big AEW guy. I want to hear your thoughts on this take.
Coach, great friend of the show. I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Pro wrestling is a niche as a market. So if this is a niche inside of a niche, it's nicheception. It's not. It's AEW, yes, it is a challenger brand. That's not debatable. They are definitively in second place at best, depending on your opinion there. But they are a challenger brand. They can compete financially. They're on network television. They do sell pay-per-views in the United States, and they run arenas in the same cities the WWE does. For niche audiences, this is all for a niche audience. All of pro wrestling is for a niche audience. So is New Japan. So is every promotion you've ever seen. So I don't think that that's even a problem, because guess what that niche audience does? They watch TNT and TBS. There's various shows on there. I don't know if you remember when TNT, We Know Drama, right? They still had comedies on air there. That would be a niche audience compared to the ones looking for we know drama. Correct me if I'm wrong there, right? You don't go to the movie theater, buy a ticket to a comedy movie, show up and it turns out to be a horror movie and leave happy. That's not what the deal is on AEW. They're giving you professional wrestling. So yes, professional wrestling as a whole is a niche. I would say yes, but AEW is only for niche audiences. That's you're grasping at straws. And I disagree. It's professional wrestling the same way we get it every other way. It's already for a niche audience.
Here's the thing I'll say on this, right, Clark? If we split this hot take into two parts, I actually agree with the first part, and I agree with you as well, saying pro wrestling is a niche, AEW is a niche. Now, I will say, for WWE's audience, pro wrestling fans as a whole, I do think AEW does cater to the more hardcore fans, and that is because I don't think necessarily casuals or, kind of people who don't watch regularly are going to necessarily be that interested in, 8-man tags with just really good wrestling, but not too much story and stuff like that. But that isn't a bad thing, because do you know the one thing which is consistent in any genre about hardcore fans? They pay more money. So if you are getting them to pay their money and they are still happy, then that is a good thing. And that is clearly what AEW's plan and their business plan has been from day one. It was obvious. They started off a YouTube show called Being the Elite. It was always meant to be for the hardcore of the hardcore. And that is not a bad thing as long as the hardcore are interested.
If you look at what's been spent marketing-wise, because that'd be the only way to flip that narrative. You're not going to flip it necessarily on screen no matter what. I understand there's booking things like you said, the multi-person matches and whatnot, storylines and stuff. That's another factor, but marketing to the casual fan is different. Advertising wise, they've marketed to as many people as you could almost ask.
Oh, they absolutely
You're getting AEW commercials during NBA games, NHL games throughout the last few years.
In airports even.
Yes, they've done a heck of a job when it comes to that. And that part of it is what makes AEW the challenger brand that they are. They're not going to just pass WWE out of the gates. And the public perception scale will slide all the time. But the fact that we have a competitor is so big. Lyft pushed Uber. When Lyft became more convenient, Uber had to come up with new stuff, right? When Uber came out with now you can do the comfort, the black car, the SUV, you can do almost whatever you want, right? Lyft had to do the same thing. They went the opposite with the mustache and the pink branding, whereas you had the clean and the black and white branding from Uber. It's very similar in this regard. I do feel like it's something that just plays out over time, not in the short term. So to sit back and be overly critical of bad stretches, right? We could do that with WWE over the last 30 years very easily.
Neither are in a bad stretch right now. Either they're both doing well.
Both are so good. And I love the comment for Fernando. Wrestling is subjective 100%. That's where I'm like, I don't 100%. think AEW is any more niche than pro wrestling already is. That's my opinion on that.
Oh, I disagree on that. I mean, their slogan, as Tony Khan now says, is AEW is for the sickos. I mean, it is blatantly targeting a little more the hardcore or sickos, as he likes to call them. But there's a comment here I'm going to have to go off at. Raving Ninja saying they don't draw more money from these fans. Tickets go for peanuts and loads left most of the time and hardly make bank from merch.
Firstly, you always know when you say make bank, they're a big financial guy.
Firstly, I can actually confirm the last sentence for you. They make a boatload of cash from merchandise. Boatload of cash. Now, could they make more? I think they could. Again, they never sold Penta and Phoenix masks. That was a missed opportunity. But they make a ton of bank, as you put it, from merch, etc. They also, like, ticket prices, they're not peanuts. They are just more affordable. But they still, they're not giving them away for free.
They're not just handing them out.
Right.
And most of their venues, since they have moved to slightly smaller ones, have still sold out. They are still doing fine. To be able to go around the country, and around multiple countries actually, and sell, 5,000 tickets every week? That shows you clearly got an audience if you're doing that in every show. So I don't have an issue with that. And I Make Beats, I think, does say it perfectly. And a lot of people have said this.
I agree.
AEW has a lot more of a mix of styles. WWE is just their style. AEW, in my opinion, is the mixing pot of professional wrestling. I've said that before as well. It is just, it's for the sickos, and it almost is a love letter to professional wrestling. And I think that is fully sustainable as long as you are keeping those sickos happy. But talking about keeping us happy, could you guys do us a huge favor and go and subscribe to the Wrestling Republic Undercard YouTube channel? There's exclusive videos on there, clips, and more. There is going to be a new episode of Sold Separately out on there tonight. It was meant to go up on Friday. We had some technical difficulties, but it will be going up tonight over on that channel. Grappling for Position is over there as well. Make sure to check it out. Wrestling Republic Undercard for exclusive videos, clips, and more. Go and subscribe. Right, up next, let's get into the next hot take, shall we? Because this one is from, and it's a big one, AB Deza Targ Horab, who says, and this is a massive hot take, Austin Theory has the potential to be better than Roman Reigns. And honestly, I don't disagree with this hot take. I really don't, because I think Austin Theory is better than Roman Reigns was at Austin Theory's age. So I can't sit here and confidently tell you he doesn't have the potential to be better than Roman Reigns. Would I bet on it? No, but I do think it is entirely possible. He is massively underutilized. I do think his time is going to come. And I think we are going to see a Cody Rhodes or a Drew McIntyre with Austin Theory, where maybe he at first doesn't reach that potential, but long term he does. Des, I want to get your thoughts on this.
See, when I thought his take, I had a lot of things in mind, because you say Theory could be better than Roman. Are you saying in terms of better wrestling? Sure, because Roman has a lot more slower paced wrestling, and Theory is somebody who has more of a faster paced wrestling, but he can be, he has more moves in his moveset, let's say. Are you saying that he's better in box office, better in character, better on mic? For that, maybe, but then again, I really think Roman is like one of the most box office superstars that WWE has ever had. That's been somebody that WWE has been wanting to be the top guy for over a decade, and they hadn't succeeded because they wanted him to be a good guy, and the fans rejected him. And then once he finally went into his heel persona, became the tribal chief, that's when fans really started to be behind him. So I guess you could say the fans are more behind Theory now than they were Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns got so many more opportunities than Austin Theory has. Austin Theory right now is struggling to get minutes on television, which is a shame, because I like Austin Theory. It's not a dig at him, but it's just the way it is right now. Roman is somebody who's not in the company, and he's still as big as ever. I've said this multiple times, and you can clip this if you want. If anybody is going to be better than Roman Reigns in the next few years, let's say 10, right? I'm 35 years old. I'm dealing with back pain. It's going to be Braun Breaker. I firmly believe this. I think Braun Breaker will be talked about in the same extent as Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, and Roman Reigns, and any other big superstar from the past. He has the look. He has Paul Heyman on his side. He's only going to get better. The mic, he could probably get better like in the next few years, but if he has Paul Heyman there, he'll be fine. He's an unbelievable wrestler. Everybody likes the guy. Super energetic, unbelievably fast, super charismatic as well. So for me, I think this guy will be main eventing multiple WrestleManias in the future, and he will be at the same level as Roman Reigns or better.
Oh, wow. Big take indeed. We got a couple of comments I want to get to here. We got numero one Superfly saying, since A-Town Down Under has teased a split, Jacob Fatu has debuted, became US champion, and turned on Solo. I'll be reincarnated twice as an egg, and they'll still be teasing a split. They need a split already.
Yes.
Agreed on that. Karen A says Theory is definitely underutilized and is a great seller. That being said, no one can compare to Roman. The character is gold. Was his character gold at Theory's age? No, it wasn't.
But there's a difference. There is a difference here, Ben.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is a 6'6" super athlete, a walking $100 million check. Austin Theory is a heck of a performer and a heck of a talent. I do believe that his potential is high, and his youth and experience at this age is amazing. They just do not make specimens like Roman Reigns. That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Now, there's been poor booking on both sides. Austin Theory has been put in difficult situations. Ask about John Cena, right? We teased the split, all of that, right? They've both been in bad positions early in their career. Can Theory overcome it too? Yes. But Roman was, even when Roman was at his lowest, it felt undeniable. I go back to the wreck everyone and leave. That you're just a freak in a mask. Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt. You're just a freak in a mask.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happened, it was like, oh no, this is the Roman we always wanted. That was before they even showed Heyman when we got the run. That type of work on top of what, so if we're talking about both's potential, yes, it's close. But because of the work that Roman put in when it did click, which is what we would have to get from Theory.
Yeah, we don't know. It couldn't be that.
We don't know yet. Exactly.
Right.
That's what, follow along here.
Okay.
Because Roman did click, I'm less inclined to be like, could be better, maybe as good as.
I think could be better.
I could be proven wrong in the future. There's a lot of time, as you've mentioned, you do love age. If in 10 years, though, you and I are having this conversation about Theory's getting a bit old, someone clip this. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. Raving Ninja says, just wait for Theory. The longer it takes for him to get the main event run, the better it will work. I mean, I do think they need to start utilizing him.
I do think that's very fair.
Or let him do something else. But I do think it's going to come. The Atomic Merp is agreeing with you, Clark, saying, thank you, Clark, on that one. I Make Beat says, don't think Theory would be bigger than Roman, but he could be a main eventer easily. You never know, because I'm saying this, right? A lot of people are saying Cody's a bigger star than Roman Reigns. A lot of people have been saying that recently.
And those people are wrong.
But if you're making that argument, Austin Theory 1000% could be as big as Cody. He could be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good.
I think he could.
Hard maybe.
I don't know.
He's as athletic. He's...
Whoa.
I mean, honestly...
Are you coming to my side? Cody's not that good of an athlete?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm a big Cody guy, but I'm
I got
saying
a Cody shirt right
Austin
here.
Theory does have that potential. I think it's entirely because people are forgetting Roman Reigns did not have it at all. He was so bland. He was so boring at Austin
They did a dog food match.
Screw it. I'll say this, right? Roman Reigns was more bland than Austin Theory was when Theory was 20, when Roman Reigns was 30. I mean, come on,
but when
guys.
Roman Reigns was 20, he was an All-American SEC football player.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I said when Roman Reigns was 30.
Right, but when he was in his 20s, he was playing Division I football. That's not fair. Theory just started wrestling.
My point is, Theory has improved character-wise, and he's gotten a lot more charisma faster than Roman Reigns did. I cannot sit here and say that he cannot reach that level when he has shown signs that he can if given that opportunity. If he gets a character change and the opportunities that Roman Reigns has, or the opportunities which Cody or a Drew eventually got, I think it's possible.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's probable.
Well,
and I like to gamble.
I don't know. Well, actually, I want to ask you guys this. So I've said Roman changed WWE, right? And I think he's bigger than Cody, but Cody changed wrestling. So really, who had the biggest change? Because you can say Cody didn't change wrestling. He did, because we have AEW now. Roman didn't get to AEW.
1,000%. Cody is 1,000% the bigger change.
I agree.
He actually had a knock-on effect which will change this industry forever. I mean, even Clark, I think, can agree with that.
Cody compared to Roman as far as changing the industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, it's a very nuanced conversation.
You have to bite your tongue, but
no, I would say that's probably the truth because of the AEW and all in more than anything.
Has to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's
I would even give McIntyre some credit for reigniting the independent scene early as well, too. Not to Cody or Roman's extent, but my point is bringing back around the challenger brand, seeing people succeed outside of WWE for about a decade before AEW finally came along was as big of a factor as anything. Cody was the poster child for that.
Yeah,
Right?
I
But
agree.
there
I
is
think it'd
like
been a
list
little
of that.
nice crediting McIntyre for that, to be honest with you. He didn't.
I
do
100% agree.
No, he
that
had nothing
much
to
on
do
the
with All
indies.
In, but he rebuilt himself and the
He
company.
did.
He did, but he mainly
no,
worked
but
in
created
TNA and
my
UK
point.
indies.
My point in shouting out McIntyre is he created the avenue back to WWE.
Okay,
Yeah.
true.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
fair.
true on that.
You
part.
did.
Fair
You
point.
did do
Avenue
that. You're right.
back.
Fair
That
point.
it is possible to rebuild, rebrand, and come back and right.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
end of the world when you leave. That started with
You're
McIntyre.
right there.
Cody
Yeah.
made it even larger than that, and
Right.
also during the time, basically gave you a nice little mattress to land on called AEW.
Yeah.
Like
But
a nice
Wow.
soft mattress.
But we do have a couple
Yeah.
of comments. I'm going to quickly read. The Atomic Merp says Cody broke the fourth wall with his return. Definitely a needle mover, not the game changer. Shard says Roman made WWE feel like the Attitude Era again.
He did.
I don't
He
know
did.
if you can.
Roman,
in a
the
way.
cool factor with Roman, Shot is correct about. I think that might even be a generational thing, being a bit older. Roman had a cool factor, and obviously, I've dogged Cody forever. I do truly respect him and think he's amazing, right? But
You're
when it
breaking
comes
the
to
fourth
the,
wall now.
sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Speaking of breaking, I'm breaking the fourth wall. Anyway, no, but
Hi, Colt Cabana. Hi,
yeah,
Matt
hey,
Jackson.
Cole
Hi,
Cabana,
How you
I'm
doing?
breaking the fourth wall.
Well,
But no, I think Cody's awesome. The cool factor with Roman is a big deal to me because it was and that's where when Shad's saying like the Attitude Era, right? Even as a heel, the cool factor, I was drawn to Roman. It's
Fair
not that
enough.
right?
yeah, that's
like,
fair.
It just
But we do need to move on to the main event topic because, Clark, you're talking about wrestling being cool. There is somebody who wants to ruin wrestling, and that is the premise of John Cena's heel turn. And this final hot take is from DMV Marv, who says John Cena's heel run is very mid, and you can't change my mind. Now, Des, I'm going to go to you on this one first. What is your thoughts?
Well, I guess it's more so of what were your expectations, right? Were you expecting great matches? Were you expecting great stories? Were you expecting a nostalgia trip? Were you expecting a different John Cena? It's a very subjective opinion because what you think is mid might not be what anybody else thinks is mid. It's just because of what you want to get out of it. In my opinion, when I heard that John Cena was going to have his retirement tour, in my head, I'm like, oh, we're going to go for guys like CM Punk, Randy Orton. We're going to go for probably like LA Knight. We're probably going to go for Cody Rhodes, like the big names and the nostalgic names. When Cena turned heel, I think it even opened the door more for that because now that John Cena is a heel, it makes the match even bigger for these baby faces like the Punks, like the Randys, like the Codys, like the Jays. Because if Cena was a face, then it's just kind of like, okay, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. It's fine. Now that you're making him a heel, it makes him more interesting. Now, if you're saying the whole character of him ruining wrestling is mid, then yeah, I'd say it is. When we look back in this, probably a few years from now, we're going to have the thought that Travis Scott is the reason why John Cena is never seen 17. So I understand why that might be kind of a turn off in a way. But I guess, like I said, it just ultimately depends on what you think is mid and what you want to expect out of it. When we look back at this in a few years, the biggest question is going to be like, was this the right choice? And to that, it's ultimately up to you. I still feel like we still got a lot of ways to go before we can ultimately come up with a decision. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you what you think is mid.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. My personal perspective so far on this John Cena heel turn has been, yes, he hasn't explained it very well. Yes, it doesn't really make full sense. Yes, at times it kind of does feel like he's acting, but do I think this is more interesting than whatever the hell he would be doing if he was still a babyface? Yes. I have a confession to make. If I'm being completely honest, part of me was dreading this John Cena retirement tour. Why?
Really?
Well, because John Cena's past 2 runs when he's come back and returned, he's kind of just felt like a shadow of his former self, like he's playing himself. At least this is something different. No, it's not 5-star matches, but no, I don't think it needs to be. Am I entertained on a weekly basis? Yes. So quite frankly, so far, I do think it's been more good than bad, despite the fact there have been some flaws. Clark, what's your take?
So I really like to agree with Dez, and we do often, but I completely agree with what Dez just said. I don't like agreeing with you. I like to try to argue, but I unfortunately also agree with what you just said, Ben. That's the toughest part about this for me, because the truth is, I mean, this is the best booked Cena run we've had in 15 years. Like, what? If we were going to get Super Cena, I love all of you guys. This is so great. I'm so happy to be here and watch me overcome all these obstacles. He's overcome obstacles for like 20 years. I'm tired of it. What else does he have to do? What do you mean? The guy's won the belt 1,000,000 times. We've seen it 1,000 times. 1,000,000 times. We've seen John Cena be like he can't do it. And then he can do it. Oh my goodness. No, this is better. I'm going to put it in your face now, and I'm going to do it. And that's the point. That's the point. This is real pro wrestling. John Cena is a real pro wrestler and one of the best to ever do it. There's no debate about that. What I love about this is it's different. He's showing that he did have range, which we all knew he had. Because we go back to the evolution of what made John Cena, and everything before. He's doing it again on his last tour. It's awesome. All the t-shirts will still sell. All of that. But it's not even about that. This is about showing what he's actually capable of, and being different is the smartest thing John Cena has done on this whole run. If there's one hole in the narrative, it's why The Rock just go back away. But who cares? It's too late now. It's January was 6 months ago, my friends. When we, right? Like, it was a long time ago, you know? We're not going to get The Rock involved in this. That's not going to happen. It would have overshadowed John Cena's retirement tour anyway. I'm more inclined to talk about that one as being an issue with the Cena run than anything John's done. He teased it at the Rumble. He did it at Chamber. I get the complaints about that main event match. Sure. I was there. I remember. But at Mania, awesome at Money in the Bank, awesome on the pipe bomb, awesome everywhere else, in people's heads, not giving people what they want in the perfect pro wrestling way. He's as good of a heel as anybody going right this second. And that's just the truth. Pun intended. That's all I'm saying.
And that's a great point as well, because Garrett Sari says, far from mid, he created a real-life character in Wrong Killings. I mean, obviously, a lot of things involved in that, but that storyline, I mean, Clark, me and you were both saying it was fun going into it originally. Karen agrees with the hot take, saying that she's been disappointed with John Cena's heel run so far. It's just not convincing. But Shard agrees with us. The Atomic Merp says, being a Cena superfan, they have to agree with me. The last 2 to 3 returns have completely flopped. This heel run is a breath of fresh air, and The Rock needs to stay away. Agreeing with you there. I have to agree. Fernando says Clark is cooking. And Garrett says, just like the final Sting run in AEW, Cena will not lose.
Ooh, I disagree with that
take.
one. I feel like Cena
has
to lose, right?
Do it. Don't
has
lose.
to.
Do it.
Has
don't
to.
Lose. Don't lose.
I think Mr.
Take it away. Take our toys away.
Take our
toys
belt
away. Nobody likes
Cody
being
Clark.
grounded.
Yeah.
Take the toys away. Do it, Cena.
I just hope Rey Mysterio doesn't fight for the championship again on Raw. We already saw how that went. Poor guy.
Oh gosh, yeah. This time CM Punk will squash him. That's what's going to happen. They'll just flip the story completely.
Yeah.
I
But
had to shake that out there. You made me nervous.
I mean, imagine Clark's reaction if it's Cody versus CM Punk at WrestleMania, honestly. But that does bring us, guys, to the end of the show. It has been a fun one. Thank you to everybody in the comments. You guys make this show what it is. We really appreciate you guys tuning in every day. And we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, to talk more professional wrestling. Thank you to Clark. Thank you to Des. And thank you to all of you guys. Have a fantastic day. And hopefully, Monday Night Raw will be a banger. And hopefully, Austin Theory will get a win so I can stop doing these.
There you go.
Fired of the push-ups. Ben's working out too much these days. Get him a win,
I'm gonna
guys.
become Dwayne The Rock Johnson before The Rock returns to WWE. Thank you, guys. Bye, 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 bye.